your dollar is your vote. You know, what you're paying for is what you're supporting. And that's kind of like my activism for sure. But that's not to say that nowadays, you know, in 2021, being a vegan, you can get plenty of junk food as a vegan and you could feel pretty bad.
Nothing.Nowhere ist US-Amerikanischer Rapper, Sänger und Songwriter. Außerdem lebt er vegan, weswegen er sich auch für einen bewussteren Umgang mit unserer Umwelt einsetzt. Ich habe mit ihm im Interview darüber gesprochen, wie er erstmal zum Veganismus gekommen ist und welche Herausforderungen dieser Lifestyle bietet. Außerdem habe ich mich natürlich nicht lumpen lassen und ihn gefragt, was sein absolutes Lieblings-veganes Gericht ist. How annoying is it to be vegan in this day and age? Because I feel like people get roasted on and offline for actually taking care of themselves and actually also the environment. So yeah, how annoying is it?
It's funny. I don't know. I've been vegan for 10 years. So, and I usually am pretty low key about it. But it's become sort of a meme now. But over the years, I've grown to embrace the memes. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's just funny. It's become such a hot topic because like people are really passionate about what they eat, I guess. But I love the memes. Like I love getting roasted. It's funny.
Does that happen to you a lot?
Not really. No, I'd say like, you know, people are pretty chill. You know what I mean? I'm not like super militant about it or whatever. You know, like if people want to like talk about it or they're interested about it, like I'm down to talk about it. But you know, I'm not you know, in people's face about it usually. So people are chill.
Yeah, but I still feel that people really hate on the vegan lifestyle, but I don't really get why.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable, I guess, because if someone's doing something they've done their whole life, it's a kind of a premeditated, unconscious thing that they do maybe 3 times a day is eat a meal. And then you present them with alternative information that they probably never heard. And you're like, hey, like, just so you know, like this X, Y, and Z is happening. There's an environmental impact of what you're doing. You know, there's a victim on the other side, blah, blah, blah. It's uncomfortable.
What happened that you actually pulled through or you actually changed up your lifestyle?
So I tried to do the vegetarian thing for a couple days or whatever. And then I bailed on it and went back to like making like meat products and stuff. And then I don't know, one day I got a switch kind of flipped and I was like, I'm just going to try it. I called my friend up. I was in college and I was like, hey, like I got a bunch of chicken in my freezer. Do you want it? And he was like, yeah. And, you know, that was 10 years ago now. So
what differences in terms of lifestyle and health did you feel in your body after you went vegan?
I'd say the energy was the first thing. And for the whole like first week of, being vegan, I kept like coughing up, like it was just gross. It was just kind of gross, but I could tell like my body was kind of expelling something. I don't know, or maybe it's just getting used to a change. Mm-hmm. But I'd say that the energy was the first notable thing for me. I grew up, you know, having like fast food like all the time. Mm-hmm. And after you have like, you know, like a huge cheeseburger or something, it's like you're down for the count.
Oh,
so yeah. It was nice to be able to eat something like a meal and feel full, but like, you know, be like, okay, what's next? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And not feeling down like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool thing. But that's not to say that nowadays, you know, in 2021, being a vegan, you can get plenty of junk food as a vegan and you could feel pretty bad. There's so much, just you think of anything. You want cake, you want cookies, you want chips, fake hamburgers, like everything is made vegan. And I mean, like, just because something's vegan doesn't mean it's, you know, good for you.
But veganism is not only about food, it's also about, you try to be aware of leather-based products as well and stuff like that. Do you commit to that part of veganism as well?
Yeah, I do. And I'd say that is a lot more difficult than just the food aspect of it, because the clothing, I definitely was the biggest thing for me. Just to be aware of that. And also, you know, using products that don't test on animals, I think is something that I got into as well. I want to go to bed at night, put my head on the pillow and know that throughout the day, I did not participate in any premeditated acts of violence upon any of my planetary companions. And that makes me feel like I'm doing my job as a sentient human being, and just treating all living beings with compassion and respect.
What's your favorite vegan dish to convince someone to go vegan?
I really like going back to the basics and just like, whole plant-based foods. I make this like, it's kind of like, it's called a Buddha bowl, and it's got steamed sweet potatoes, fried chickpeas, red onions, and a maple ginger tahini sauce on top. And it is really, really just hearty, and it fills you up really well. I think that's a really rad, I think what people are afraid of when they decide if they want to try out some vegan food is they want it to be savory. They don't want to have a salad. I don't even like salad. I hate salad. Every time my parents are like, "You're vegan, you don't like salad." I'm like, I just don't like it. So something like that. And I mean, like, honestly, like now, like that Beyond Meat and Impossible Meat is like, if you want to there's been plenty of times where I've given it to people and I haven't told them. And then I'm like, oh, by the way, that's not real meat. You know what I mean? It's pretty crazy. So that's a good gateway. And then people I'll hopefully be more interested in it. It's funny, like there's always that argument where they're like, if you were on a deserted island, would you eat, and you could only eat meat, would you eat it? And I'm like, of course I would. I'd probably eat you if I was on a deserted island. But I have a real question for you. And that question is, if you were living in the real world and there were hundreds of thousands of options of food, one path had a victim, was environmentally unsustainable, and was, for all intents and purposes, not the best for you. The other path was better for the environment, more compassionate. Which one would you choose? I'm like, that's, you have a choice every day. Your dollar is your vote. What you're paying for is what you're supporting. And that's kind of like my activism for sure. Living in a capitalistic society, like humans are inherently we're not perfect, but I think being on a journey to be the best version you can of yourself and to reduce your harm on planet Earth is a pretty rad thing to me.